What's going on YouTube? Mark Fleetwood here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Trader. Tonight I'm going to go live and I'm going to start looking into scalping techniques, two of which I know specifically that I use the most often, and we're going to find out right now in real time if there is a scalping method that we can use that will work in the current market conditions. Now please be aware, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. However, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Throw me some comments in the chat and we can get going. So the first things first is let me know if you're watching. Let me know if the music in the background is a little too loud or if you can even hear it at all. But I want to make sure it's not distracting to the video. But I figured it'd give me a little bit something more than just my normal voice play here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to look for is my indicators. What am I going to use? So I have Williams fractals up. They're not showing right now, but I have them available. Bollinger Band, not going to use those. Engulfing candles, I use, typically I will use them just to give me an additional confluence if I need. And moving average ribbon. So we'll go ahead and click on the moving average ribbon. Let that be seen. We're just using the 50 and a 21 right now for the charts. So I have all the futures contracts available that I have available to trade. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the biggest losers or the biggest winners. Luna, yeah, I'm not even touching that contract. I don't even think that's even alive anymore. Close that out. So see the biggest winners right now. ENS, People, GMT, these are all up a good bit. Okay, and you see here we have what we're looking for. We have for the Williams fractal method, if we're going to start with that, we have the 21 trading above the 50, and we have price above both moving averages. And this is currently on a 30-minute chart, so this would be a little bit longer than what we need, but I'm going to use this to set up my support and resistance. And you can see here we actually just broken through a level of resistance. We have one here, this little area here with support and resistance. One here. And now we're going to take this down to the 5-minute chart. Now we put the Williams fractals on this 5-minute chart. Unfortunately, I think I missed my entry here, or multiple entries, honestly. There's a ton of these fractals, but the ones I'm looking at, I'm looking for ones that have tested multiple areas. Did it test a level of support resistance? Did it test a moving average? And did it blow back through rather quickly? So this is one here where this would have been a good entry and never got tested below here. And we're taking a while to get your 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, but it would have been a safe entry. Got down to the 21, bought back up very quickly, and you wouldn't have gotten knocked out. This last one here got down to the 21, wicked down below the 21 and closed back above it, and it closed above 50 on the RSI. So your next candle there, you're good to go. And that would have been the big one, the one that just recently happened. So as of right now, there's not an open trade for this. I'd actually be looking for just to kind of peak, come back down, retest this support resistance, or the 21 to move up and to test this again. This is going to come back down, but there's no entry to be had right now for a scalp. I'll take a look at People. Again, People right now, same type of scenario, kind of trading too far above the moving average. The last low fractal here would have been a good entry. So what we would have done is had a long position after this second candle. And we set up our, right after this candle. And we would set up a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, in which case it's likely already covered Yep, so this is actually already covered. This would have already covered that trade in like 15 minutes. Now again, you're looking at a 1% risk, 2% reward, 20 times leverage. That's a 40% trade. It's a 40% trade in 20 minutes. So we'll see if I can find one that we can go into here. And now, it seems like I'm in an area where almost everything has hit. It's has just come down for a test of the moving average. Again, here, tested the moving average, tested a lower fractal. We would have bought in at the end of this candle. Remember, this fractal doesn't print until the next candle closes. And that would have been our support resistance at 1%, or not our support resistance, this would have been our stop loss at the bottom here, just below that. And then going 2 to 1. I mean, we're at 2 to 1 here in the first 10 minutes of the trade. And again, it's a 2% on 20x leverage, it's a 40% trade. This is how quickly, when you can catch the trend. Now, none of this area here, this sideways, where both moving averages are moving sideways and not really going up or down. This is a no trade zone, and most of the day today, after I decided to make this video, most of this day was actually kind of tough for trading because it was very sideways. Everything was kind of consolidating. I'm going to look at Bitcoin real quick because Bitcoin was making a oh, Bitcoin just broke it up its pattern. So this, I might actually take a trade here on Bitcoin because it was making a bull flag on the short time frames. So I was watching this bull flag for Bitcoin on the 5-minute. Take the fractals off real quick and you can kind of see the consolidation it was in. You know, high, came back, tested, but made a lower high, came back, made a similar low. And then there she goes. That's the retest, and that's the blow up there. There she goes. Right as I'm talking about this trade. Now again, this might come back and retest, and we can get it again. But look at the volume spike. The volume spikes up with the breakout, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for high volume. And again, I wasn't able to see it. I knew that, or I wasn't able to catch it, but I knew this was close to happening. I've been watching this this bull flag kind of forming. Oh man, missed opportunity here. This is 0.88% in 5 minutes, and we still got 30 seconds on this candle, 1%. So that's a 20% trade in 5 minutes there if you catch that breakout. Now you got to remember too, it came out and closed right above this line, so you could have entered right there in that first candle. That would technically would have been a retest, but you would have liked to have one more candle retest that bull flag line. So we'll see where this goes. That pumped up the RSI pretty strong too. Hey, for you guys watching, how's it going tonight? How you guys doing? So let's take a look again, see what else is going on. See if I can find anything, if I can catch anything that. Look at that one. I mean, that one popped off of here. This last touch of the 21, and it was golden. And when you get this kind of start to run up, if you can catch even like the first one and let it ride, you can cash out half at your, you know, your target rate, and then just kind of let it ride. As long as the moving averages are still creeping upward, you can let it ride. You don't have to go 2 to 1, but I would take the majority of your profits at 2 to 1, cash out, make sure that you're in a risk-free trade at that point, and then set your stop loss to a break even at worst, and then just you can let it run. Okay, let's see. Again, you see these running when the 21 crossed over the 50 here. That was your range, and this would be your first. I can guarantee you this candle here was probably the first Williams fractal after the 21 crossed over. Boom, that's your first lower fractal. So you can start playing this kind of in your mind. Once you know how the fractals form, you can do it without having the clutter on your chart, really. You can use this technique without actually even having the fractals in play. What do we have? Everything has already gone. This is so unfortunate for me because I wasn't even trading earlier. This could have been, could have actually been a decent time to hop in. CRV could actually be a good trade to enter. This would be a different type of trade. This would be a pattern reversal with CRV. If you're seeing the 21 curling up and the 50 curling up, and you know we've had pretty standard resistance here, resistance here. This line breaks, and this could be a trade to take. Support resistance there. We'll have levels of support and resistance at these levels. And we can see if we hold above 112, or say 113, if we break 113 and hold above it, this could be an entry point to take. So we're gonna watch CRV for a little bit. Let's see if we can get an entry here. And if we do, we would use the 21 or the 50 period moving average as a stop loss. So it would be there. That would be 1.2%, and I would trade up to the next level of support resistance if it breaks, and that still gives us a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, 2.75. So it'd actually be about a 50% trade if it were to hit. Right now, it's really looking like it's struggling. It might just be retesting the 50 here. So we're going to give it a couple minutes to see what it does. And again, the RSI is in our favor to take a long. We're above 50 on the RSI. So we are in a position to take a long. We are back in bullish structure. And we also have here a close of 106.2, 106.4. So that's about the same. That's not really a bullish divergence, but it's close. CRD. Let's see if we can get CRV. Come on, man. Give me something I can trade. Give me something I can trade live. Let me put my work in. Now with this type of scalp trading, you have to be very precise, and you have to be aware that if you're going to let a trade run, you have to do so while taking profits ahead of time, while taking profits at your target level. And this has to be a very precise and very much a rules-based trading system. You don't have a whole lot of time to go off your gut. It's got to be rules met, and that's it. Now with this video, I'm going to be cycling through a couple of different techniques that I use just to see if there's anything I can get into live. Typically, if I'm looking for the fractals method, I'm not going to be looking for a reversal pattern here. I'm not looking for the bending of the moving averages. Typically, I'm looking for everything trading above 21 above the 50, but this could be the start of that. So this breaks this level of resistance here and could be our next play. It's definitely struggling to get and hold over the 50 moving average though. Where is Bitcoin in this scenario? Because I'd like to see where the Bitcoin did after that initial 5-minute candle break. Yep, kind of came straight down, didn't it? A little bit of a retest here, a little bit of a retrace. If it comes all the way back down and test, that would actually not be too bad. And then we can get a nice little pump out. All right, let's go CRV. It's kind of jazzy. It's kind of some fun. No copyright music. I think I'm on a hold, you know, at a dentist's office or something. This is supposed to be lo-fi hip-hop, but it sounds like, you know, waiting room music. Let's go. Okay, CRV is doing its thing. I'm going to move this up to the very top. I'm going to put an alarm on the support resistance so I can look at some other things. Once per bar crossing, create. So now I've got an alarm triggered for that. So if we do get that breakout, I can come back to it. Yes, okay, this is starting to come back down a little bit, and this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the potential for these to come up and then retest this 21 and come again. However, it is kind of long into the pattern, so there might be another consolidation, but it's hard to say. It looks like everything's starting to kind of come back down towards the moving averages. That long wick down tells me that there's likely going to be a good bit of downward pressure. Same with this one. Try to get up again. Some more downward pressure. So it looks like everything is starting to come down. That's a nice evening star. That's going to come down a little bit. Retest here. We're going to retest the 50 at least. If it doesn't come back down all the way, it should come down, test this 21 moving average, and test the 50 on the RSI. You see a lot of similarities on almost all of these coins. So when you have a pattern that you find that works, you can, if you can be quick enough, you can kind of hit multiple trades at the same time doing the same thing, because right now everything is coupled. Everything is in lockstep pretty much with Bitcoin. So it's very hard to find something right now that's not just walking with the whole, you know, crypto space altogether. Right now, I mean, I'm looking for CRV to break this level of resistance. If they're going to break out and hold it, it's looking like it's a good spot. I'm going to turn this off. That was just kind of getting annoying. Sorry. Yeah, so CRV is the only one that's kind of different than the rest, which is why I kind of got drawn to it. I'm hoping it breaks it through this level of support resistance, and I can buy off to the retest and see if I can make it back to the next level. And then again, that would give me a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, with my risk being back to the 50 period moving average on the 5-minute chart. But we have to see how it goes. Again, just kind of going through here, even all these coins that are up, you know, they're all starting to come back down towards the moving averages. Everything is starting to come back down. Oh, that one's coming down. It's coming down pretty quick. The things start to move. Let's take a look at Bitcoin again. Yeah, Bitcoin, it came all the way back down to retest the breakout. If we get a close here above and we get a nice spike back up, we could actually get a good play off of this. This could definitely be just a nice retest of the break of the resistance on the bull flag. This holds over the next 3 minutes and holds this level of former resistance now as a support line. If it does so, we can take this trade on along. If not, we let it go and see if it comes all the way to the bottom. It might actually, a lot of times what you get with crypto is you get a fake break one side and you come out to the other way. So that's why I preach over and over and over again that you've got to wait for the retest, because you just never know when that first initial breakout, like if you were to buy this candle here at this point at 37 or 30,700, you would have already been stop loss immediately without ever being in profit, really. I'm going to go ahead and set up here, set up a long position potentially for the next candle. I'm going to use the 21 period moving average for my my stop loss. I'm going to go at least back to this peak and see if we at least get a double tap, and then it'd be a 2.8% or a 2.82 to 1 reward to risk ratio. If it plays out, I'm not sure that it will. It's been an extremely choppy market for Bitcoin. And sometimes when there's a big chop, you can cut the time frame down smaller and smaller, and you can get these little moves here where like this, might have been a strong 4-hour candle and then like an immediate kind of consolidation candle. So you get these up and down swings. And actually what I'll do is I'll show you kind of the way that I will set up the trend lines for going on 5-minute candles. I got a minute here to see if this candle closes above support, or if this does a support resistance flip, or it will have made a support here, or if it closes below, it has not done so, and now we leave this trade alone. $20 to see if this holds as support. And what we can do is, I will venture to guess if the next candle is green, this will be a lower fractal. All right, just turn up the long end, 20x leverage. Okay, got 3402. And our stop loss is going to be 3305. Confirm that. And our take profit is going to be 37.15. Okay, I'm trading with really small dollar amounts here just so that if I do kind of get into some bad trades because I'm trying to force a trade on camera, I don't end up losing myself too much. But this, we'll see how this goes. This should be a pretty quick 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and at just about 1%, that should be a 20% deal there. So what I do want to show you real quick on this, can I zoom these 5-minute candles out, is kind of to give you the rundown. And I like doing this with a clean kind of chart with no moving averages and stuff. Nothing really on there. I'm gonna hit a trend line. I have this kind of easily identified downtrend. Then we have a pretty easily identified uptrend. Now we also get a lot of times, and I could have probably made this a little bit tighter like here, where it's try to, yeah, probably more like that. When you start getting these bottoms, like a double bottom or a double top, you can very easily start to see that you're moving into a consolidation period. You're no longer really in a up or down trend. So I would do something like this. Say this is a range. This kind of here is a range. And now what we want to see, does this range break to the upside or to the downside? So instead of this, I just ran with the flag pattern here. So it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of a positive momentum on this bull flag breakout. We will see if this catches out for us. The potential is if we get a little bit of volume again, this could cash out almost immediately. It did it in the 5-minute candle last time, so definitely a strong possibility. So while this is running, we're going to look at another possible trade. CRV, not there. Kind of making a flag pattern there as well. Right on the moving average. I'm going to put the moving average ribbon back on. Still just hovering just above that 50-period moving average. This coin is not ready yet, but we will keep this alarm on the support resistance line here. This will be our kind of our barrier to entry here. Can we break this support resistance? This one is not coming down yet. People is not coming down yet. Now you can, like, this is probably going to be a lower fractal here. And you can play that move. I'm not a huge fan of it. The trend is strong. Don't get me wrong, the trend is strong here. And this will likely make a fractal here in the next 30 to 45 seconds. But I don't like using the fractals method this far away from the moving averages. Now, granted, this whole trend line up has been a good bit away, but it's gapping farther away at this point, and that gets a little scary for me that it could potentially reverse farther. But right now, it's just a really strong uptrend, and sometimes you gotta play with the trend and know that the trend is your friend. And this one, wow, this really did once this fractal prints, that would have been a very good candle to get on. And again, when you know once you understand these fractals really well and you can start to identify when they're going to show up, you can kind of, I don't necessarily say to anticipate them, but you can hold yourself out for the trade. And there we go, there's CRV. CRV popped. It broke the support resistance. Hey, how's it going? So let's see if it holds this level. If it flips this resistance to a support, then we can take this and we can take this trade. We'll move Bitcoin up because I want to see where that's at, because we are in a trade on Bitcoin right now. And it looks like we're looking pretty good on Bitcoin. I'll move this up to the top as well. Yeah, Bitcoin, we're in a good position here. Let's see if it holds up. And this was just based on watching the this flag pattern. It broke out, came back, retested. This downward retest stopped and held support on the old resistance. So we bought in at that support level. And that was just the buy of that breakout. That's a pretty simple break and retest trade. Let's see if it plays out. I mean, theoretically it should. I use the moving average as my stop loss. It's a very small stop loss on these 5-minute candles on a scalp. It's 0.35%. it'd be a 1% trade, but I am trading on 20 times leverage. So on that 20 times leverage, this will be just about a 20% trade. And that looks like CRV did fail to hold. So we'll be looking again to see what else may happen and what other trades we may have available to us. So doing this in real time, this is actually, I don't want to say harder than when I'm just kind of chilling and looking for my trades, but definitely a little bit more, I want to be more precise. It makes me want it to be better. So doing this on camera actually makes me really stick to my rules better. So I might just start doing this whenever I trade, whenever I start a trading session. If I get more people watching, you guys call out my mistakes, and honestly, like, getting called out from me really makes me think what I need to do better and what you know, what mistakes I make. But again, all of these, man, these would have been great scenarios where the 21 really pulls up away from the 50. Probably wouldn't have got that one, but this would have definitely been an entry. This would have been an entry where I see your retest very close to the moving average. You get a big candle off of it, and you would have easily gotten 2 to 1 there going through that on that trade. This was another one I showed that just, you know, you've got the fractal going on the entry of the next candle or after the fractal is formed, and you've got 10 minutes and you're in on a looks like a 40%, yeah, 40% gainer on leverage. So scalping can be very, very lucrative on the proper leverage, doing it the right way, and having the right risk management. Risk management is key for scalping because you can get on a bad run, and look there. I mean, if this dips back through and doesn't continue to hold this line of support, this could be a quick stop loss, but it's 0.35%. So it really puts me at, it's a 7% loss if I lose this trade. So it's not a big heartbreaker. It's 7% on the 50% of my futures bag. So again, it's only really at 3.5% of my total. But yeah, if I would have started this video like 20 minutes earlier, I probably could have entered some of these trades where there was kind of some strong pullbacks and options or opportunities for the fractals, like this big run up here with this pullback, and you got a long wick like dragonfly doji here, plus a nice buy candle. Like you enter here, set your stop loss here, and I'm gonna show you if you enter at the start of that candle, put your stop loss there, and you go 2 to 1. Yeah, 2 to 1, you are less than an hour, and you're at, you know, over 50% profit. Those are the pullback trades you want to get. You want to keep yourself on the trend, but you want to pull back towards the trend. And you could have done the same thing here. Another pullback. This one would have probably worried me. I may not have taken this trade because it did create a lower high. So coming off of here, this being the top here, making a lower high, I may not have taken that trade just because of that kind of breaking structure there. And really, really close to losing that stop loss. And depending, let me see if this actually did. I did not. Sometimes the futures, for some reason, KuCoin futures aren't listed on TradingView, so I use Binance futures, and sometimes there's a couple dollars difference on Bitcoin where that may have stop lost me. So I just wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. But yeah, this stinks. That looked like a good breakout and retest. Yeah, that stinks. It looks like it's going to be a fake out. See how it goes. We're not out of We're not out of it yet. Is there anything else that we can take? Anything looking good for a short? Oh, this looks like a really good short opportunity. This is a classic double top pattern. I want to see how this plays out. Again, I'm kind of going all over the place on trading methodology here, just to try to find something to do while I'm live. But essentially, with a double top or double bottom, you know, you will come up the whole length up. You top out once, you hit a neckline, you top out again in roughly the same spot. Once this breaks the neckline, you want to see a break of the neckline and then come back down. And we would trade. We would trade this from the neckline down to about here, down to about where the initial start of the run up was. So that's what I'd be looking for a double top scalp. And we'll see if this breaks the neckline. So you know, at this point, I'm just I'm searching for anything that I can find with a trade, be it long, be it short, you know, whatever the case might be. There's a lot of things that were kind of in lockstep, but Bitcoin probably going to stop me out here. And anybody who is new and would like to know any specific trading method for scalping or the indicators I'm using and why I use the indicators the way that I do, feel free to throw a comment, and I will I'll go over it as I'm going over these trades. So BTC did not stop me yet. It is making a rebound. Like I said, I thought this strong volume breakout and a retest and this kind of claiming a support here, I thought that would have been a good entry to buy on this on that bull flag kind of pattern. We'll see how it plays out. Still got room to go, but I'm not liking the fact that it broke back into the flag. So we'll see how that plays. And we will see if we get a break on this double top pattern. CTSI. What I might do to stop kind of switching tabs is I'll probably start entering the trades on my phone, just so I don't have to keep switching tabs so often. So this came down below our move this down right. Let's get our neckline right where it needs to be, right where it bottomed out. There's no guesswork. Right there, bottomed out twice, therefore a neckline. We are under the 50 period moving average, or under the 50 moving average, under the 21. The 21 is curling down. The 50 is starting to curl down. We're under 50 on the RSI. Now these are all confluences. I got tongue tied for a minute. These are all confluences to take a short position. 21 coming down, 50 starting to go flat, and the RSI under 50. So that's what we're looking for. This should retest and hold under this neckline. If it holds under the neckline, then we can take a short position. And I will show you that on that short position, I'd probably take the end of the body here of this candle. This would be my stop loss at 19.35. run this. I'm going to run this a little bit more than 2 to 1. I'm going to try to get just this whole pattern. Typically, this will make a full M-shaped pattern or a full W-shaped pattern. If it was a double bottom, it'd be the opposite. So I'm not really looking to go 2 to 1 here, but I will watch for a reversal style pattern. I start to see dojis, or I start to see a hammer or anything that stopped downward pressure, then I would look to get out. But for right now, we're going to go and try to get the majority of this move back to the downside. And yeah, we're getting really close to getting stopped out on BTC. What we got? 33.05. We're at 33.34. Very close to getting stopped out there. But you know, that actually happening, if it does, may indicate that if Bitcoin is starting to go down and faking a break to the upside, to add a long position. No, this is a short position. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said it's never. I didn't realize you were asking me, is it ever? To add a long position. Typically no, because on a neckline like this, you're going to be looking for a potentially a retest of the neckline before you enter. And if it retests and breaks back above is when you would kind of stop, reevaluate the trade potential, and evaluate if this neckline doesn't, if this does hold as a support line here, what you could get is you could just very easily be in a parallel channel where this price action could run in that range for quite a bit. You could go back up and down on that range. It could be, and I'm sorry, I misread your question initially, so I do apologize about that. But yeah, it could be if the price gets back above it. But right now, if it does what it's doing, and it looks like, yeah, Bitcoin trade did just stop me out. So I don't know if you saw my attempted trade on Bitcoin, but it was definitely a false breakout of a bull flag. So that one kind of stuck a little bit, but it was a very small loss. So I'm going to look at this candle to see if it does come back and retest this line. If it doesn't, we may enter a short here, but I want to see what this does. I want to see if it comes back and gives us a nice confirmation that this is now a resistance. I'd rather it confirm a resistance than to enter without that confirmation. I'd rather miss this trade entirely than to get burnt on it. And that's the kind of hit or miss about confirmations, is that some trades will go in that direction and never confirm, and others will just not make it. Oh yeah, no problem. So I think this is the worst part about trading here, and even on 5-minute candles, it still kind of sucks because you're waiting and just watching to see if this candle goes into the direction that you want it to. CTSI. Now at this point, I would like to see this kind of reject back down and make it like a gravestone doji or something. I don't like it just kind of hanging right on it, but we'll see what it does. There's still 3 minutes left. Now here too, the other good thing is you have a confluence where you have the moving average, the 50 period moving average is also right on that support line. Now turned resistance, so now the 50 period moving average is also a good resistance for you as well, along with the line that we drew. I'm going to go and delete this here. And now, if it holds this way, I feel pretty confident to enter this. And we'll see if we can get this move all the way down here. We got 2 minutes before we enter to make sure it doesn't do anything crazy and jam right back up. And you have to be very careful with your timing. You can't jump the gun at all because the last 10 seconds of a candle can make the biggest move of the whole candle. And again, really tight stop loss back into this, back above this support turn resistance. You don't want to lose too much on this because if it goes back above here and it closes back above here, this move is likely done. It's likely going to consolidate here, or it's going to make this consolidation range. Clean this up a little bit. I don't like that. I don't like being right on it. I don't like being right on the support resistance line. And for me, if you're questioning a move, you don't take the move. So this may not actually go. Yeah, this is going to be a no-go for me. It's going to close right on the support resistance. It's going to be a no-go. So, sorry. Now, again, it doesn't mean the next candle can't come down and reject off again, and we can enter it after this rejection, but that first one was not strong enough to enter off of it. With that being said, we're going to take a look at anything else. It's a 21. Crosses below 50, we could start shorting this, but I don't necessarily want to be long on some things and short on others. Especially when half the market's like kind of partially green, the other half is partially red. And where is Bitcoin going now? If right, Bitcoin has gone red on the day, so it's coming down. There was our Bitcoin fiasco. I thought I got a good retest there. It did not, and it looks like it may actually come back and break through the bottom of the flag. If it breaks through the bottom of the flag, it could become a short position. Close this out. Now this, I'm very much interested to see how this continues to play out. It looks like that's kind of going to flag up a little bit. So typically when I'm doing trading in this way, if I'm doing scalping, I will give myself 3 to 4 hours of time to just search charts and stuff like this and see which moves I can make and to see if I can find a trend early on. The fractal method, I'm going to turn the fractals off for now, but these fractals here, above and below, that's a very trend-based trading method, and I do have a video on how to use that method. Very, it's a great method to use, but you have to follow the rules and you have to be in a trending market. And you want to be going with the trend, where this is a reversal potential trade. I'm trading a reversal of a double top coming back down. You would not want to use fractals for a reversal. You would use that definitely in a trending market, where I'm going to show you a couple positions here. This would be a lower fractal here, and you would buy in at this candle and have your stop loss be this wick. You're running up a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and I'll turn the fractal back on so you can see that. So that would be your entry point. Oh yeah, man. Have a good night. But yeah, this would have been your entry point, or sorry, here, the close of this candle, because the close of this candle actually creates this fractal. Then that would be your stop loss, and you would have ran that up and got an easy 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, which sucks that I missed those. Right, there we go. We can get ready to enter this. I should have entered. I should have entered there. Well, that was me being a bit conservative. I should have probably entered that trade. It still held resistance on the 50 and under that line. And then we got the move we wanted. I would have entered here, had a very tight stop loss. Actually could have ran my stop loss up to here if I wanted to. Then run it down to about there, right about to that bottom. And we can see this plays out. At this point, the if this candle doesn't retrace a little bit, if it retraces a bit, I'll enter it. No, that was just a little bit too much indecision on my part. I probably should have entered that. Watch how this plays out and see if there's anything else I can enter. Gala also very similar, just about a double top, but a deep, kind of a deep valley here. There might not be a whole lot of reward to be had for this one. Reversal to the downside happening now. They're getting pretty gnarly. All right, guys, and unfortunately, I missed I missed the kind of golden zone to get some of these trades. There was a good opportunity for a lot of long positions, a lot of these coins, and again, I'm gonna go over them one more time. A lot of coins that were up are not up nearly as much as they were, but these pullbacks that we see, the moving average hold support, they're great entry points on the fractals method. Again, there's a opportunity. There's a 2-to-1. That was a 2-to-1. This one would have easily been a 2-to-1, if not even more. CRV falling again. I would be now looking at, since it failed to break this level of support or this level of resistance, I'm looking to see where that would go if it just stays range bound. There's a lot of kind of slightly upward momentum earlier that I just missed. So that happens sometimes. You just don't get the trading opportunity you want, but it's better than losing a lot. And only got stop loss on the BTC trade. Now it's just kind of a weird, it's kind of a fake break. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, until next time, peace.